We're recording as we speak.
Okay, we'll call the regular city council meeting to order for April 21st, 6:32 p.m. We have a quorum. We will be missing Ed Waters. He is still recovering from his knee surgery. We will say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the Texas flag,
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we'll start with reports from council. Rick Fisher.
Nothing to report, but I do want to give a shout out to our PD, Officer Vargas, and Councilman Terrell up here. Last week when I was flying, apparently Sam had a flat tire in her buggy, and it was seriously flat. And Officer Vargas and Jeff came to her rescue, which is saying quite a bit because I think the lug nuts on that thing were torqued on by King Kong with a 10-foot breaker bar, and those poor guys about busted their, trying to get those things off, but they got the tire changed and got her on her way, so thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Rick. Jeff Terrell.
Nothing to report.
All right, Susan Baker.
Nothing to report tonight.
Mayor Pro Tem Amanda Fimmel.
I don't have anything either, Mayor.
Oh, we'll just leave it
All
all
up to
me.
you, my friend.
Okay, let's get started because I got a long one. I just want to say we won't have Mike. He's with his mom. She's had a couple of things going on at the hospital, so you guys keep them in your prayers. He's been out for a couple of days, so I have a list of things to update you on when it comes to his turn. For me, the boat ramp's getting closer and closer. There wasn't a whole lot of work over the weekend because of the rain, but they are really moving along pretty well, so I anticipate that being done over the next few weeks. The clubhouse is coming along good. They finished most of the ramp. They got a few things to do and get some handrails up, and then this job will be complete. We still got to talk to Rosen Drainage about fixing that part of the parking lot so we can get wheelchair scooters and things of that nature up here, but we're moving in that direction. I don't know about you guys, but there's some things under this building you can't see that we had to pay for, some structural things. I'm glad we got into it, honestly, because it was really pretty bad from years of neglect. So this building will be here for quite some time still. We are awaiting our historic marker. Got word that was on the way and shipped. So at that time, when that time comes, we'll be planning a celebration for the 100 years of this building and be putting that marker up. So that'll be coming soon. Real quick, I want to mention something about the Water District bond. Okay, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I'm going to tell you what I know about it from looking, and we got Robert here tonight. I'm sure he'll speak. Hopefully he backs me up if I don't get this wrong. There's a lot of social media out there trying to tear that apart. I don't mind saying that over in Kemah there's some people that don't like some of their councilmen and vice versa. I don't really get into all that. I try to look at the facts and how it affects our city. We don't have a tax to our citizens, so there's some of what they're talking about that doesn't apply to us. What I do know after digging into this thing pretty deeply is we can spread the cost of a new plant and providing more water. We've got apartment properties coming in left and right, and those are a lot of water meters. We had 500 plus houses and new stuff coming in Kemah. They are our water district. There's another new apartment property, if you haven't seen it, going right up at the corner of Lawrence Road and 96. Water, 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 right? So as these things get divvied out, these water meters, our pressure is going to start to drop. So I believe they are correct that we need another plant. They're wanting to build one on Delisandre. When I look at the dollar figures of this thing, and this is only my opinion, because like I said, I can't tell you how to vote, the dollars make sense. I would rather pay myself as a citizen a little bit over time and then not be responsible for that if I sell my home and leave Clear Lake Shores, than paying another $100, $150 every month because they're going to build a plant. We have to have it. The bottom line is we can't sustain as many water meters and businesses that are moving here. And, Thomas is here. I will tell you the EDC has been very active at trying to lure some businesses here. There's that 70 acres over there that behind Home Depot that who knows what's going to go in there. They're going to need water. And so do your homework. Early voting starts again tomorrow. Can't tell you how to vote, but you're going to pay for it one way or the other. I would rather pay for it over a long period of time, a little bit at a time, my opinion only. That's all I'll say about that. There will be a groundbreaking tomorrow over at the Marina Bay Harbor boat storage. It's been an ongoing project for the last 2 to 3 years that we've been working on with Cameron Hunter, and it's a joint project. There's some of that's going to be in Kemah, some of it's going to be in Clear Lake Shores. The important thing for you guys to know is the cash register will be in Clear Lake Shores, so that's very important. But it was a co-effort between us and them and getting all the permits done, and we appreciate Kemah's help in doing that. And we have our business is growing. And so if you can make it tomorrow between 11 and 1, please come by. I know it's going to be raining probably. They're going to have a tent, but I will be there. And I encourage you to come and support that effort. Cameron's a very good partner of ours. And he actually did it the right way. He came to the city. He brought his proposal. He asked what he needed to do, what hoops he needed to jump through, and followed that direction and went and got some engineer plans and came back, and it went very smoothly. So hats off to him for coming forward first and not just doing something and getting himself in a bind and spending extra money. The upcoming event on 4th of July, we're going to have a couple of bands there. Michael Shanks will be playing. Our own Ben Reyna is going to come and play also, so there'll be some music. Amanda, Bruce, and myself will be meeting sometime next week to finalize the plans for that. Someone told me there was going to be a dunking booth, and your council people might be in it. I don't know that for sure. I will tell you there might be some things you can't unsee, so be careful. But that'll be a fun event. And I'm sure once we meet with Bruce, he'll announce all the goodies that are going to be going on that day. So please come out and join us. Wayne Pittman. Some of you guys may or may not know Wayne Pittman. He was a long-time resident here. He was my neighbor. He's going to be truly missed. He was a special kind of guy, very smart man. I was sad to hear that he passed the other day, but he was a great neighbor and a great resident of Clear Lake Shores. He loved living here, and he was just a very special guy. He got to do a lot of things in his life that he wanted to do, and very interesting and smart guy to talk to. So keep his family and all his friends in your prayers, please. May 16th. So a lot of people have asked me about this. It slipped my mind, so I'm going to go ahead and take ownership of this. I'm used to us usually doing the garage sale in May. It is on AmeriWaste calendar for May because of that. It was in my mind in May because of that, and when we did it in April, I totally forgot about getting the dumpsters here after that event. We are still going to do that event. Those dumpsters will be here on May 16th, Saturday, May 16th. So we will do that island-wide cleanup then. I want to remind everybody, no tires. We had to pay $450 for some tires one year. Mattresses, things like that are fine. No household trash. We're just cleaning out things that would, things that would normally go in a dumpster, but no tires and no household trash, please. We will have both of those dumpsters this year up here at Jarboe. We're doing one at the boat ramp. That's under construction. There's no cameras there. That's where the tires got thrown in. So we will have them up here. Pass the word. We will be looking at the cameras if we find things that aren't supposed to be in there, and you will be notified. That's not funny, Dick.
It's pretty funny.
It's supposed to be serious. Let's see. There are some events going on at the Elks Lodge this weekend. I'm going to ask Teresa to put those out again. She put those out a while back. There's going to be a pub crawl on Friday evening over there. We are sponsors of the Blessing of the Fleet. On Saturday, there's going to be a car show. There's also going to be a gumbo cook-off. So I don't know if anyone from the Clear Lake Shores is doing that. I know last year we had a team over there, not the city, but someone from the city. So be sure you get involved in some of those events. It's going to be a lot of fun, Friday through Sunday. Yes, they do need judges. So if you guys want to judge, David asked the PD to stop by over there. They'd love to feed those guys. Teresa will send those out hopefully tomorrow, and we'll get that back in front of you. Let's see. I think that's it for me. Oh, the last thing. So we have ordered banners that are going to be around the city. So we have 2 banners on every pole. We have some single banners up and down the 2094. So these banners are going to be in the parking lot side by side. They're going to be on top of the light poles, so we're going to start putting those up here pretty soon as the weather allows us to get a lift and get some of those done. Jorge and Odie will be able to put some of them up in the parking lots and up and down 2094 sooner than we do on Clear Lake Road. But this is all part of our celebration. There will be some of these banners turned the opposite direction in a flag layout that will be in between some of the flags that we have coming over the bridge and out on 2094. These are going to stay the same. They're only going to be on the flag poles. I thought maybe if we turn that sideways, it might blend in with the flags, and you really won't notice it. These, I think, will stand out. So I hope you like them. But that's going to be, we're going to go ahead and put them up, and we're going to start celebrating that ASAP. That's the last thing I have. So we will move on to Chief David Donaldson.
No report.
Wow. Okay, y'all really want to hear me talk, huh? Okay, City Administrator report. Okay, he really doesn't have a report. Most of his comments are going to be about items on the agenda. So I pretty much covered everything that's going on in the city. So I think I want to just wait on these items to come up on the agenda. I guess I didn't really pay attention to that. These are just items for the agenda. So we won't have a city administrator report. We'll move on to roads and drainage.
We haven't had a meeting lately, and the Narcissus project is already on the agenda. So the next thing I can say is that we had your concern about the striping and the apron up here on the agenda for the next meeting on the Thursday the 30th.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, you know, we had talked about that once before, and then it just kind of got put on the back burner. Thank you, Thomas.
One thing I can mention is that we need to think about how we do these kids. SIPCAS was good, but we had 62 entities interested in bidding, and one bid. So we need to learn from this. We need to do something different.
Okay, we can talk about that. I'm not sure why that happened, but we can talk about that. Thank you. Parks Committee.
Mary couldn't be here tonight, so she asked me to say that the monthly meeting has been moved to the second Monday of the month at 9 a.m. They're always going to try and have it in one of the parks, but if weather doesn't permit like today, they'll be having it here in the clubhouse. Currently, they're working on sprucing up the grounds around the pool for the upcoming season, and there's going to be a special work day this Friday at 9 a.m., weather permitting, to do some work around there, get it spruced up.
All right, thank you, Rick. Waterfront compliance, anyone here? I know Ed usually does that, so he's not here. Planning and zoning. No one here for planning and zoning? And zoning board of adjustments? Okay. We'll move on to economic development. I think next time I'm going to rearrange this, Thomas, so you can just stay there and do it all at one time. I'm sorry to make you go back and forth.
I could use exercise, okay. We've now had two presentations for a marketing campaign. One from some influencers and one from a more traditional website-based system. We have a third one coming up in our May meeting, at which time also the influencers are going to be back with a proposal. So we at least, there's activity going on, so we're moving forward. We, appreciate what you said about Hunter, I'll be there tomorrow. He's just easy to work with.
Yeah, really easy.
Other than that, we are working with, I was up by Target yesterday, but the guy was busy. I'm tempted with the idea to see if we can have a possibility to make a post office within the Target that they send it out. But I don't know if Target is interested yet, but at least we'll check in.
Okay. All right, thank you, Thomas. Civic Club report?
Good evening. It's been, we had a couple events. We had our annual Easter egg hunt, and it was a success. I think we had probably 60 or 70 kids there, probably. Had a pinata that was really hard to break. They had a lot of fun. Thanks to my wife for taking over the chair of it, and all the volunteers that helped make that a success. And then thanks to Marion, Ed, and Louise Cooney for sponsoring the sunrise service. We had a nice event there. A good crowd. It was last year, we had that incident, so it didn't have any event this year. It was just a nice service. Let's see. This month we've got, the ice cream social with the city pool.
Okay.
Is that the first Thursday of the month, That's one they did last year.
I think that's what.
Because our pool memberships are up May the 1st, right?
It says on your calendar, the last one I got, May 7th.
Okay, first Thursday. Also, if anybody knows any graduating seniors, we have two things. We like to put their pictures out here. I've only gotten one picture so far. And I know there's more of that because I had a couple emails from people asking when we're going to start to do that. So I put it out there, and I only got one. And then we have 0 scholarships so far. We have 3 money giveaways.
So-
Graduating seniors.
So have you put that on the Civic Club's website?
Yes.
Okay.
I put it out.
Teresa, do you mind putting something out there also?
I can
Please.
send you graphics. We
Yeah,
have
if you-
graphics.
if you don't mind.
We did an email for the scholarships, because there is some criteria.
What's the age limit for that scholarship? Just asking for a friend. That was a joke, Bruce. I was going to apply for
But
it.
it doesn't have to be for a, four-year college, it could be for grade school, it could be for anything,
Well,
Last
that
year we had
seems-
We had one applicant, so we got the money budgeted for it. I'd love to give it.
Yeah.
So, if you know anybody, I want to redo the graphics again on social media. So, other than that, I'll see you guys next Wednesday.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Bruce, don't forget, May 16th, Steak and Sinatra.
It's on calendar.
Okay.
Oh,
Technically did.
yeah, that's in there.
What's that?
He technically said it could be used for anything.
May 16th?
May 16th,
Yeah,
take it's not.
Yeah.
Got a lot.
Yeah. Can be used for anything.
You want us to do it?
What's that?
You want us to take care of the tickets? Well,
What was done last year?
okay. Now, in fact, I'll get with Sam tonight, and we'll probably start getting them out this week. We'll put a word out this weekend to start selling them.
Okay.
What date is that, Rick?
Saturday, May 16th.
What is it?
Okay. Might be people at the dumpsters all day. Maybe they might be hungry that night.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Bruce. We'll move on. We'll move on to public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the city council. If the discussion concerns an item on the agenda, comments may be made now or when the item is discussed. If the topic of discussion is not related to an item on the agenda, the City Council cannot deliberate or take action at this time. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual. No yielding of time is permitted. Would anyone like to address the City Council? Robert? Just state your name and address and all that good stuff.
Robert Kelly, 1111 Kip, Kena, Texas. Secretary and Treasurer, WCID number 12, Water District. And I'd like to make it available to anyone in this room, anyone in Clear Lake Shores, to discuss this bond. What it means to have it half, and what it means to have it not half. So I will, Randy knows me, Dick knows me, I will tell you the raw truth of what this is. Regardless of what you read on social media or any of it, you will get the real deal from me. So I'm staying here until somebody approaches me or just says I want to talk. But that's sort of operating, because we need to get this settled with a good sound position of you knowing what you're actually voting for. Because the information right now, it's not good. It's very, very muddy. And you will, I'll provide any documentation or anything you want. But I'm going to stay here, and I don't know if I'm 3 minutes or not, but I'll be here if you want to see me. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Robert. Appreciate you spending your time doing that. We will move on to the consent agenda. Before we go too far, I want to pull item C off of there to discuss. I'll explain all that, and then we can take a vote on that item. Do we have any motions on item A or B?
I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda items A and B.
Okay, have a motion by Rick.
I'll second.
Got a second by Jeff. Any discussion about those two items? Okay, motion. All in favor? Okay, motion passes. So the waterfront transfer B051A. We put this on here. This is going to be transferred with the sale of a home, so there's no 30-day process. They are still pending a survey. Okay, so that home is sold, done, ready to go. I thought since we already have it on here, we could approve that pending that survey and just move forward. Then they would only have to bring that survey to Christie and her file that survey in the file. We can either do that or we can pull it completely until the survey comes. But since we put it on here already, I thought we'd discuss that. And we could make a motion to approve it pending the survey being provided to the city.
Make it contingent.
Yes.
That's the survey for the waterfront itself or for the home?
Survey for the waterfront.
Okay.
We have in our policy, it's not a written rule anywhere, but in our policy, we have always asked for an updated survey that's less than 10 years old, and this one exceeds the 10 years. Since then, we've also put markers all around the island that are more accurate than what we used to do, so we're getting more accurate surveys. This is one that's past that 10-year mark, and they are required by the city as a policy to do that when you transfer one. They did not turn it in. Chrissy did let them know that you may or may not pass it based on that. So since she put it on here, I'm just asking if we can keep that moving forward instead of bringing it back and make them wait. I think they can get a survey within a week or two. I think they're going to use High Tide. I'm not sure, but I think that's who most of them use. And they're pretty quick at turning that around. That way they don't have to wait for another meeting. So strictly a courtesy ask from me. I don't know these people from Adam, but instead of extending it out, my question would be, is there a way we can pass it? And that's the way we can do it. If you have a question, you need to go up there, Thomas. Or a comment, please.
All of 207 East Shore
pretty good, yep. So do we have any, we could table that too. So you guys are welcome to do whatever you like. It doesn't make me any difference. I just thought since it was on here, that's one way to keep it moving. So I would ask if we had any motions on that item.
It looks like since they've got everything done, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve item C, the the transfer for B051A, pending submission of a current survey.
Okay.
Contingent on submitting a current survey.
Providing a survey,
To the
okay.
city.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Got a motion by Rick, got a second by Amanda. Any more discussion on that item? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to new business. Item A, consideration and possible action to approve a contract with Records Consultants, Inc. for digital scanning services in the amount of $19,838.75. Before we get started, I'm just let you know this is these are some of Mike's notes that he had on all these items. This is to complete all the scanning documents for the city to build, for the building department, residential and commercial constructions, and records associated with waterfront leases. We have software now that we're trying to load all of this in, and there are lots and lots of documents to be scanned. We tried hiring someone part-time a couple times. It takes forever. And so this is our record company that deals with our records already, and they can come in at one shot and do it all fairly quickly, and then Angie can start building these files in the building department and put all of these items under these files. So this will also help us with FEMA moving forward. When they come in, we will have everything digital. We won't have to let them sit and look for hours at paperwork, thumbing through paperwork. She'll be able to build files on every address that we already have files on and put all those items in there. So that's what we have. Do we have any motions on that item?
A question. Does this contract includes the existing files and the future files that we have? Will they scan those also? Is that part of the deal, or?
No, the way I understand it, Jeff, is this is to scan all the files we've compiled over the years, and as new ones come in, Angie will be able to keep up with scanning
Okay,
those.
gotcha.
Or maybe not just Angie, but the ladies at the office will be able to do that.
Reading through some of the things in the documents, so are they going to destroy the existing files, and then we'll only have the digital files, so we don't have to worry about paper files anymore and worry about
That's a good
hurricanes?
question, Susan.
That's what it sounded like, because there was quite a bit of...
That's the way I understood it. I don't know if we want them to destroy everything, but they are also the people that deal with our files that destroy them when it's time. So we will probably take their recommendation once we proof and make sure everything was uploaded correctly. I don't know if they'll scan and destroy. We may want to wait and make sure everything is uploaded correctly before we do that. But that's the way I read it too.
Yeah, my main concern was around, obviously, the FEMA files, since that's been kind of a contentious
Yeah.
risk for us in the past, so not sure if we have to retain those, what their retention regulations are with FEMA, so that if they come and ask within a certain period of time, we have to physically have the original files or not. I don't know.
Well, we'll still have them if we upload them digitally.
I don't know if they would require, though, that you have to have the physical.
Yeah, I'm not sure they will.
Yeah.
But we can ask that
Yeah, I
question
just
for sure.
think we should make sure that we understand that, because there's so many federal things that require you to actually have the physical document.
Yeah, I think that's part of probably the logistics once we start getting in the middle of it. What are we going to keep? What are we going to, do we ask FEMA, do we need to keep anything? But I don't think we do. I believe,
This records company is also very aware of all of
Yes.
the destruction.
that is another reason.
The
Yeah.
retention
The
loss.
whole retention periods, yeah.
What about storage? I mean, it says we need approximately 6 gigs. So we have that capability to store that large on an, I'm going to assume it's not going to be on a server. I'm going to assume it's going to be cloud-based, but I don't want to make that assumption.
I think, I'll have to check with Mike, but I think some of what we got with our software was some of that storage.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it looks like they decided to go with option 3 there instead of doing a cloud-based, with going with data files via FTP or external USB media to get those back.
Yeah, but
So
is that where they're going to live, or, again, just making sure we're
That might be
crossing
just a
Ts
backup.
and dotting Is, yeah,
And I'm sure we will be backing those up regularly so we don't lose them.
correct. Okay, I'll move to approve a contract with Records Consultants, Inc. for digital scanning services in the amount of $19,838.75.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda.
I'll second.
All right, got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, motion passes. We'll move on to item B, consideration and possible action to approve a variance of the current fire fee schedule calculation for the Target store located at 255 2094 by using 10,000 square feet as a ratio to determine the plan review and permitting fee for a new fire alarm system. So this, Mike had wrote down here, the current fire inspection related fee used is a formula of square feet times 1,000 times 75, round to the nearest thousand. So what he's asking is, since we set the fee, or council sets the fees, council's the only one who can change the fees. And he sat down with Tommy Combs, our fire marshal, and he doesn't feel like $13,000 is a reasonable number for them to get an inspection done on their fire, when Tommy says he can do it for quite a bit less than that. And so if we change this, it would lower that fee to $1,300 for them, and that would still cover all the costs involved, and the city wouldn't be paying a lot of money to do something and charging them an ungodly number of dollars to do it. I think it's just, he's wanting to reset it to make it more fair for our businesses, honestly.
The extra large businesses.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
This will give us a lot of our tax base.
And so he worded this as a variance because it's varying from what we approved. It's not something that needs to go to the variance board. It's something that we as council approve the fees every year. So he's asking you to vary from that and change that fee.
All right, well, I'll move that we consider to approve a variance of the current fire fee schedule calculation for Target located at 255 FM 2094 by using the 10,000 square foot as the ratio to determine the plan review and permitting fee for a new fire alarm system.
Okay, got a motion by Rick,
I'll second.
got a second by Amanda. Any more discussion on that item? Okay, all in favor? Okay,
Aye.
motion passes. We'll move on to item C, consideration of possible action to approve renewal of general engineering services agreement with Colliers Engineering and Design, Inc., based on specified hourly rates with a total fee cap not to exceed $30,000. So this is basically just renewing our contract with Colliers so they can remain one of our engineers and do work for us. We have to renew that contract yearly.
I will move to approve a contract with Colliers Engineering and Design to provide professional engineering services for the construction management of roadway and drainage. Oh, wait, is that the right one? Oh, no, sorry, we're on C. Look, I'm jumping ahead, y'all. To renew our general engineering services agreement with Colliers based on specified hourly rates with a total fee cap not to exceed $30,000. Sorry.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda,
I'll second.
got a second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item D, consideration of possible action to award the contract for Narcissus Road roadway and drainage improvement project to Lucas Construction Company, Inc., in the amount of $658,378. We are bringing this back to council for approval because if you remember, there was some things left out of the other bids last time, so we elected not to accept any bids and we rebid it. This is the one that Mike decided to bring to council and recommend. Lucas is a respected company in the area and has been vetted for the qualifications for this complete project by Colliers already.
Is this the same company we had the bid from?
They were the highest.
They were the highest the last time.
They were higher last time for sure because,
They were the absolute highest.
yeah. And now I want to say
They're the only.
they're the cheapest. Is that correct?
Out of one,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even considering the previous.
yeah. When you look at the numbers from before, they dropped their number quite a bit compared to the other ones.
400,000.
Do we have a motion on that item?
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah, Thomas Oliver from the Roads and Drainage. I reached out to a couple of contractors we've used before, and they both said they would offer us, and then they retracted it, and both of us came back with the same thing, saying, this is too complicated. I mean, the way you have it written, we could do it a lot cheaper, but not to those standards. So we need to learn something from this, because like I said previously, out of 62 parties downloading this plan to being interested, we get one bid. Yeah, that's a loss, we need to do something. I think us being most at Colliers.
What does he think made it so complicated?
So, say that one more time, Thomas.
And then out of 62 people,
Yeah, so I got that part. What are you recommending we do now?
I mean, not for this vote. I mean, now we have to go ahead. We could have done it cheaper and had more people interested if the plans would have been written a little differently, or if our standards would have been slightly different.
Okay.
But a lot of them chickened out, bowed out, because it got too complicated.
Okay.
So we need to learn from that.
I guess out of curiosity, what standards are you stating that caused people not to bid that we should think about in the future?
It has to do with the amount of work needed and how detailed it needed to be compared to just just do it. Now, I'm not saying they are 100% correct, but there must be some middle road, because one bid out of 62 interested parties, that's not good enough.
Well, who wrote the bid?
So who wrote the RFP? Colliers? Okay, so, there's probably a minimum standard that's required by them to put that out to bid,
Right.
I would say.
I mean, they're taking care of our interest, but maybe our interest needs to be, this is not a major city street. I mean, we don't have that much traffic.
I understand.
Yeah, but if we build it to a higher standard, it's going to last a lot longer, and that way we don't have to be going through this and spending another $500,000 to get it repaired, sooner than later.
The point is to get more people interested. I mean, we were all excited, saying 62 interested parties, and then one bid. They can't all be wrong.
No,
What happens
take-
if we don't approve this? We go back off RFP again? For a third time? I know that's what I mean, so for a
We
third
need to get
time?
over life, right? So it's,
Just asking.
Well, but now, I don't agree with that, okay? I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. When you're telling me we could have got it cheaper and we didn't need a Cadillac and there are some things we could have rewritten, it would have been nice to have this conversation prior.
Correct.
It would have been nice for this to be brought up sooner.
we didn't know until the bids were in, what was it, last week?
But who reviewed the RFP? Did Roads and Drainage review any of that when it came back from Colliers before we put out the bid?
Yep.
So y'all agreed to it and put it out to bid. So you're right, we need to learn from that. We need to do a better job of reviewing it
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
So,
We come out a lot compared to what the initial was.
so in your opinion, I would like to hear from our engineer now, because now you got a big question in my mind, so if you don't mind, I'd like for him to be able to speak. Okay, so you just heard what I heard, so tell me where this bid's coming in. Do you feel like this bid is too high, or could have been different or better? Let me know where you're at.
Okay, let me start with a little bit of background then.
Okay?
So for Narcissus Road, what we did is our standard design process, and so one of the first things that we did was go out to a geotechnical firm to get a knowledge of, or an understanding of what's under the road now. So
Okay.
they're boring, that is, so there was 5 boring throughout the whole block, and then they gave us a report. The report stated there's 3 different ways in which we could rehabilitate this road. So, I mean, with that information, we were able to choose one of those 3. The one that we chose was to mill and pave 4.5 inches of the road, come back with a 2-inch base, reinforcement material, and then a 2.5-inch over the top of that. So it's not a typical mill and pave job. So a typical mill and pave job would just be a 2.5-inch mill and then resurface it 2.5 inches. So this is a little bit more involved in that, and that's why if you're looking at it from a mill and pave job standpoint, you might be thinking that this is a bit of a high price bid for that. But we're kind of doing a more in-depth rehabilitation that will hopefully result in a longer lifespan for the road. And that's where the prices are coming from. In terms of the, we were also surprised in terms of the amount of engagement that we got to the test and the lack of responses after. We can, again, follow up with the contractors that did on the job and try to find out what their reasoning was for not submitting a bid. There could be several things. So, I mean, anything that I can say right now would be speculation. I wouldn't want to do that. Yeah, that I don't really have a reason for. I do have an idea of why the number came in at where it came in, but I couldn't tell you why two people downloaded it.
Well, share your idea. I'd like to know
Right,
your
I'd like to
idea.
know too.
Okay, so this is the second bid, right? So
Yeah.
we bid on this in March. And during that bid, if I'm going off the top of my head, but just to give you a magnitude, order of magnitude, I think in that bid we had less than 30 people that downloaded the plan. During that bid, we received, I think it was 4 or 5 bids. So less engagement, but more return. Usually when you do a rebid, the people that bid the first time around, we had a lot of questions in from them saying, why are we rebidding this? Or, you know, what's the change in this rebid plan? So we went ahead and told them the reasons why we rebid it and what the changes in the plans were. And based on that, I guess they changed their mind on bidding again.
So maybe there wasn't as much profit in it because we took some of the work out.
Yeah, we took a lot of the stormwater work out. Maybe that company or whatever company was engaging first time around kind of was seeing some profit into that, doing that storm drain work. And since that was out of the project now, maybe they're interested in more.
So in your opinion, where do you think this bid fell?
In terms of the number that we received,
Based on what they're going to do work-wise, I mean, this is your expertise. You see bids every day. You do this. I want your opinion on this number based on what we're getting for our dollars. Sorry to put you on the spot, but now there's a question and I need to know.
no, I definitely understand that you want to move, but I mean, not a small number, right? You definitely want to make sure that you're getting the funds for it. And I understand you asking that question. I can provide more information. I don't have it, again, I don't want to speculate up here. I don't want to give you the wrong impression or wrong numbers that will change your mind. But
Because it says here in Mike's report to us that they're a respected company in the area and they've been vetted by you.
Yeah, that's,
So how do you vet them? You just call around and ask?
well, part of the qualification process that Mike actually suggested that we include this time around was that we include a vetting of references, a vetting of projects that it's completed. And so this construction company is a local company out of League City. They've done several projects at League City. We called up the League City administrator. They did very, very glowing review of their work, and they're actually doing more work this year. They just were awarded the contract for this done.
Okay.
And so, you know,
So
based on
it-
that, those other references, we felt that they were of high quality.
So it'd be safe to say, since you did vet them, that this number might be a little higher than what you expected, but a lot closer to what you predicted. And so, in your professional opinion, they are a good contractor for this job, correct?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think they will definitely finish the job
Okay,
under budget, on schedule.
all right.
Okay.
I appreciate your input.
Randy, I'm just looking here in the packet too, and this is from Colliers. It says, based on a review, we consider Lucas Construction Company, Inc. to be a qualified contractor capable of successfully completing the project. While the bid did come in above the engineer's estimate, it is considered reasonable given the current market conditions, contractor availability, and recent trends in construction pricing. There's also the email here that y'all sent to the city of League City, and like you said, they came back with an absolutely glowing review on them. So,
I just wanted to hear him tell me
Yeah.
what that letter said, and that's all I wanted. And now that Tom has raised some questions, and, you know, we need to learn, it's you know, we'll have to discuss that in the future. But for this project, before I allow this council to approve it, I need to know the answer to that, because that's a lot of money we're spending from the city. So, no offense, but I did want to put you on the spot and say, hey, did you go through this process, or is there just a letter saying you did? It sounds like you did. And so thank you for your input. So now it's back on us. Do we have a motion on that item?
well, I'll move that we consider possible action toward, start over again. I move that we award the contract for the Narcissus Roadway drainage improvement project to Lucas Construction Company in the amount of $658,378.
Okay, got a motion by Rick,
I'll second.
got a second by Amanda. Is there any discussion from council on that item? Okay, all in favor? Motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item D, discussion of possible action to approve a contract with Colliers Engineering.
You're on E. We just did D.
I said item E.
Oh.
Discussion of possible action to approve a contract with Colliers Engineering and Design Incorporated to provide professional engineering services for the construction management of roadway and drainage improvements on Narcissus Road in the amount of $47,120. So we are hiring Colliers to do exactly what they have in that proposal and oversee this job. And so that is what that item is. Do we have a motion on that item?
I'll move to approve a contract with Colliers Engineering and Design to provide professional engineering services for the construction management of roadway and drainage improvements on Narcissus Road in the amount of $47,120.
Okay, got a motion by Amanda,
I'll second that.
got a second by Jeff. Is there any discussion on the Colliers portion of this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimous. We'll move on to item F. What's F there?
I got it.
Okay. Consideration and possible action to authorize the Clear Lake Shores Economic Development to work jointly with the City of Kemah to submit a nomination for Federal Opportunity Zone 2.0 designation on the approximate 71-acre Drawer Road property, which is within our extraterritorial jurisdiction of both cities. So Mike wrote down here, this is something we are working on jointly with the City of Kemah as an incentive to bring new economic development to that area. that was a very important reason for us to fight for a red light, by the way. So that property can be developed, and our EDC is moving towards offering incentives to bring companies and businesses there. And there is a designation. I'm not 100% sure about that designation. I know Mike and Thomas have looked into that. Thomas, if you care to speak about what that is, I have no problem with you doing it because I don't want to mislead anyone.
Yes. Galveston County has about plus or minus 28 these plots that can be approved for this economic or federal zone 2.0. Now, what does that mean? It means essentially, and I don't know how many of you, but did Mike forward you the whole write-up that I did? You have it,
I know I have.
Anyway,
No.
essentially what it means is that you can get 10 years for sure, more, well, it's no guarantee, no capital gains if you invest in that property. However, it's not that straightforward because you have to put it into a fund and get it back, but essentially the effect will be no capital gains.
So it's a group of incentives to promote business
Yes.
to come to that area, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
And, okay, this is the area behind Home Depot and Target, up to AutoZone, that area, and that's our area, of about 14 and a half acres, and then the total plot is about 71 acres, which is the whole drawer plot, which goes all the way down to those apartments on 518. And our thinking at the EDC was, how about we make the cake bigger, it's easier to divvy up. Because if we can jointly sell this area, get somebody in to develop this area, 71 acres, we stand a better chance to get something perforated, and then we have to be able to figure out the way to divvy up the sales tax between us and Kima. Cake is bigger, it's easier to divvy up.
But according to this, we need to designate that area.
We don't, we have to apply for it.
We have to
Yeah.
apply for that
The ask
designation.
is-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have to apply for it, and it has to be designated
By
that
the governor,
before
correct.
you get those incentives, correct? Okay.
We're pretty sure, I wouldn't say it's a walkthrough, but it should be fairly easy, because Galveston County doesn't have that many plots. Kima has a few more that they want to apply for. I suggest we also look at the area around, as Ramsey Way, over here in, 2094 and
Yeah,
Ramsey Way, because that's also an area that could qualify. But, I mean, the investment we have to make is a little bit of time to fill out the papers. I don't think we need any consultants to do it. It looks fairly straightforward. We just need the city council's okay that we can work jointly with Kima on that particular law.
Okay.
I want to add, though, I think you had it in the paperwork, that we do have a time limit because we have to file by June.
Yeah.
So this is kind of our opening to do this, to at least file for it, but we need to talk to Kima first, and we wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I have an ongoing dialogue with Cesar Garcia.
So that was my next question. Does Kima, then Kima would also have to approve, their city council would have to approve, right?
Running it up for Blackwell also.
Okay. And EDC, y'all have approved this, I'm sorry, I didn't,
Approved it, yes.
yes, to send to council, right, yes,
I
correct.
don't see any downside of this at all.
No, I don't either. I mean, otherwise it just sits there and we hope somebody comes and wants the property. Otherwise, we go work on this and we try to bring something there.
Yeah, I mean, the real negotiations would come first if we get federal approval for this, and then if we get someone that comes in and has an interest in developing the land, that's when we have to sit down with Kima and say, how are we going to divvy up where the cash registers are again, kind of.
Yeah,
Well,
from a legal
and-
perspective,
And if we get it designated that, maybe the advertising shows all these incentives that are possible to lure someone. Yeah. Okay.
Dick, from a legal perspective, are there any red flags, anything that,
The only thing
Go.
the only thing I'm curious about is that I thought it deals with low-income and distressed
I
communities.
was reading that too, and
So-
how is that determined? Is that determined for that specific plot? Is that determined for
The county,
The county gets.
county?
yeah, we will.
Because we certainly don't
This is why we
qualify.
are pretty sure, I mean, this plot is actually listed as a very high likelihood of going through.
Okay,
Okay,
if you say so.
interesting.
I didn't say
We'll
that,
see.
somebody else, but yeah.
I mean,
So,
the worst they could say is no, sorry, and then,
Yeah.
right, and then,
Worst case scenario, we have a few $100s in the applications.
okay.
Yeah, so,
Mostly time right now.
Right.
To apply,
correct.
not,
Cool.
not signing up for anything
Right.
beyond that.
Correct.
and you could always turn down any deals that you don't like.
Yeah, and I think it's good for us to go through this process, not just for this property, which is the bigger one, but I think the real opportunity property is down the road,
I like that.
because that is totally our,
In Clear Lake.
yes, and is probably possibly big enough for something.
Well, so I would, this is only me, when you say for low-income properties, we don't need an apartment property, it doesn't do us any good. We don't need a storage unit, it doesn't do us any good. So we do need to be careful what we designate that property, because that may limit what can go there. So we need to be aware of that when we do this.
Yep.
Okay. Any more questions about that? Do we have a motion?
Now I'll make a motion for item F, consideration and possible action to authorize the Clear Lake Shores Economic Development to work jointly with the city of Kemah to submit a nomination for Federal Opportunity Zone 2.0 on the property on Jora Road.
Okay, we got a motion by Jeff,
I'll second.
got a second by Amanda. Any more discussion on that item? All in favor? Okay, motion passes. We will adjourn the meeting at 7:30.